Welcome back. On Wednesday last week, the Nigerian federal government said she will no longer recognize Taiwan as a country, but reaffirmed its support for the One China policy. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Onyema, made this clear during a press briefing following a visit by the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Both ministers signed the agreement at the end of a bilateral meeting between them. Mr. Onyema said Nigeria has withdrawn all diplomatic relations with Taiwan as a country, and the Taiwanese office in Abuja will be shut down and be relocated to Lagos. He said Nigeria has already communicated with Taiwan on that. It is interesting the Chinese foreign minister would come to Nigeria and be accorded the courtesy of the head of state, notes Professor of International Law and Jurisprudence at the University of Lagos, Akin Oyebode.
It reminds me very much of the statements of Alphonse Kerr, plus ça change, plus la même chose. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Because time was when Republic of China had a mission in Nigeria. And after the Civil War, I believe it was, Nigeria now maintained a one China policy. And the Taiwanese embassy was scaled down to a trade mission. So I'm really surprised that, again, the wheel has turned full circle, that we are now compelled to make a statement accepting the one China policy. That I thought used to be part of Nigerian foreign policy. I think Nigeria might want to remove all doubts about where we stand, more so as the incoming US president seems to be espousing a two-China policy. Donald Trump was said to be willing to do business with Taiwan in order to really embarrass People's Republic of China. But we don't have a Donald Trump at Aso Rock. We have President Buhari, who has entered into very fruitful relations, economic relations, and I think they just want to put the political dimension, okay, into the solid economic relationship that we enjoy with the People's Republic. And again, you must know the history of Taiwan. It was the asylum peninsula for the renegades that lost out in the Chinese Revolution. The defeat of Chiang Kai-shek forced them to run away to Formosa, what you call the Republic of China. And with the success of the Chinese Communist Party, China declared areas like Formosa, Hong Kong, Macau as overseas territories of China. So China will not accept the full independence of Taiwan. They think it's an overseas territory of China, and they are hoping for the day when they will be integrated with the homeland. That is the attitude of the ordinary Chinese. They won't brook any separation between the mainland and the island of Formosa. There are quite a number of engagements that President Buhari and even President Jonathan had signed in terms of using Chinese technology to answer some of our existential problems. So I believe with China having a firm footing within the economic sphere, it was felt necessary to complement it with a political rapprochement, because definitely China would not have entered into any meaningful economic relationship with Nigeria if Nigeria had been operating a two-China policy. So there's a quid pro quo about foreign relations, as you know. So I suspect that the Chinese foreign minister's visit must have brought a message from Li Peng, the Chinese president, for a definitive statement or declaration by Nigeria recognizing the single China policy. That's my hunch. I don't have the facts. We're depending on China to build a mass transit, Lagos, Abuja. We're depending on China to refurbish our airports, Nnamdi Azikiwe and Murtala Mohammed. We're depending on China to do so many other things. Look at the Lagos-Ikorodu road, where the Chinese did as maybe their poster program to show you that China can compete favorably with any Western construction company at far less cost than the foreign contractors that are outside of China might have bidded for it. So I think it will really be penny wise and pound foolish for Nigeria to have been operating a dual China policy. I think what Nigeria attempted to do, was for the avoidance of doubt to say that Nigeria recognizes the single China policy. And if there were any pretenders from Taiwan that wanted a full-fledged relationship, the only thing they can have is what they used to have, a trade mission, maybe located in Lagos, to cater for maybe imports of goods from China, from Formosa or Republic of China, but not full-fledged diplomatic relations. Definitely not. Yeah, quite sincerely, Donald J. Trump will discover when he takes office on the 20th of this month that making political statements during the hustings, during the campaigns, is a far cry from governance. And that's what Obama warned him against. The fact that he, in fact, recklessly was exchanging banters with the president of Taiwan was a signal to his inconsistency, I would say indeterminacy in foreign relations. He's a successful businessman, no doubt, but the foreign policy of a power as big and as important as the United States is not to be compromised. He's playing the Russian card against the Chinese, but he will soon discover that he will have to modify his stance in order to cut his losses within the international space. He's made so many statements, like telling his NATO partners to bear the cost of their defense. And he said all sorts of things about Muslims, that they might have to be checked and rechecked before they can be admitted to the United States. He said all manner of things, but the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I don't see Donald Trump fulfilling all the expectations and the assurances that he has given his potential friends. Many of them will soon discover that maybe the most consistent thing about Donald Trump will be his inconsistency. Where he has made his choice known is bringing the chief executive of ExxonMobil, who has trading relationships with the Kremlin, who is well versed in international matters, especially economic matters. But I think Donald Trump could be said to have shot himself in the foot by bringing such a functionary of an international oil company to be foreign minister. I mean, foreign minister is one of the most important appointees of government, okay? And it would have been better to look for somebody with political credentials, maybe from Congress or even from the universities. You look at how Henry Kissinger became such a big role actor in the U.S. diplomatic forest. Kissinger was a professor in Harvard, and he had to take a leave of absence to go and be secretary or advisor, at least in terms of the security of the United States. He was playing the role that the lady, what's her name now? She used to be professor in Stanford. I think she's back in Stanford. The black lady, who is Condoleezza Rice. Thank you very much. So, I don't know, I can't speak for Donald Trump, because he himself is still being surprised that he won. I'm not sure he was really believing that he was going to win. So he's living up to his billing as a rambunctious, swashbuckling politician who will defy all odds to do whatever he wants. But he will soon discover that his policies will need to be tempered by the reality of the situation in order not to get his fingers burnt. That's my hunch. But again, as I said, with Donald Trump, never expect the unexpected. Anything could happen under Donald Trump. As I said, he's facing a lot of flack now by appointing his son-in-law as a special assistant, and also even transferring his business investments to his children. People are saying we voted for the wrong guy.
That's Diplomatic Channel this week. Thanks for joining us. Let us know your thoughts on our discussions this week using any of our Twitter handles. They're on your screen. I am Amarachi Ubani. I'll see you next time.